Today we're going to think about opening up through the front of our body. I apologize for the lighting. It's going to be pretty shadow and light heavy here today, but we're going to think about opening up through the front of our body. So that means I'm going to be strengthening the back of my body as well as stretching the front of my body here as we go through some things. So we're going to start at the top and work our way down. And you will need a little bit of elbow room just in case that indicator is helpful for everybody. It would be awesome if you are able to at least have your arms out to the side. And if you can't, when we get to that part, you could certainly have it in like a goalpost position or like I hate to call this a chicken wing position, but any variation will totally work. And then the other part of this is at some point I will do some exercises that it's helpful to have your hands on something. You could certainly go down on the floor and do it quadruped style, sort of like you're on hands and knees as you're doing cat-cow. Or you could just rest your hands on your desk so that you have that frame of reference as we're going through this. It will make more sense at the time. So let's get started. Now that I've done all the disclaimers, we're going to start off. Palms facing up, elbows are tucked into my side, and I'm standing really nice and tall, nice space underneath me. And then I'm going to start pulsing my elbows back to the wall behind me. So as I do this, if I think about a really deep range of motion and even pausing at the end of my range of motion and seeing if I could squeeze my thumbs back a little bit further and then coming forward, I'll get a much more intense workout than if I'm just sort of like flapping my wings here. So pausing at the end of the range of motion, squeezing thumbs back a little bit further, trying to still keep those elbows tucked into your sides. Continuing at your own pace here and thinking about being up nice and tall so my chest is open as I'm doing this. And I'm breathing, always remembering to breathe. Thinking about maximum range of motion. If it's very easy for you, you could always hang out at the maximum range of motion and just pulse here. We are hanging out here for a little bit of time because we want to build endurance in our postural muscles. And what we're working right here are the muscles all across the upper back and the rear delts. We're pulling shoulder blades in together as we pulse back, opening up the chest. Wonderful. You can relax your arms down to the side, do a couple of shoulder rolls to relax those muscles. And then as our stretch to open up the front of the body, we will actually take our hands, clasp them behind our back, and draw your knuckles down, thinking about opening up through the chest, opening up through the entire front of the body. If you would like to, you can even extend your chin up towards the ceiling. Opening up through your throat and the front of your neck. Or you can also see if there are enjoyable neck stretches just side to side here, and you can roll your shoulders. Just finding those little treats that feel nice for your body today. You can also just take a really deep breath here. Inhaling and using that deep breath to extend and open up through the front of your body even more. As we sit, as we stand, as we work at a desk, or even just repetitive tasks, there's an inclination to close through the front of the body, not only through the shoulders, but also through the hips. You'll see the hips with people who have that tilt in their pelvis where the top tips forward, or they have that big arch in their lower back. So whether it's down here or up here or both, people tend to close off through the front of their body, which is why we're doing this today. Let's go ahead. We're going to extend arms out to the sides. And we're going to do some arm circles here. Again, we're going to hang out here for a few minutes, working that endurance. Also important to note is as I'm doing my arm circle, I want as much of the circle behind my shoulder, working those back muscles, as in front. You can also go a little bit further behind your shoulder. Just thinking about those muscles, thinking about drawing everything back, opening up the front. Taking a little break if you ever need to, and then coming back to it. Again, we're staying at the end of our range of motion. We're standing up nice and tall. And we're taking the opportunity for a few deep breaths, as well as the opportunity to be mindful and considerate of our body, what it's up to today, how it's feeling. If you notice yourself tipping through the top of your pelvis here and getting that deeper arch in your lower back, feel free to engage the core muscles, draw everything in and up, so you have that really nice solid base lower down in your core that you're working from. Beautiful. Bring your arms down to your sides, and now what we're going to do is I'm going to really, really reach for the floor, and then I'm going to engage to stretch out my neck all the way down through my shoulder. So we're going to focus on the neck here, only go as far as is comfortable and enjoyable for you. So as I lean my left ear to my left shoulder, I really reach with my right hand. You could play with angles, tipping your nose down or up, finding how that changes the stretch. You can also move your head back just a millimeter or two, forward a little bit. Continuing to really reach away. And come back up, we'll do the other side. So now I'm reaching my right ear to my right shoulder, and I'm reaching away with my left hand. Finding that stretch first. For me, it goes all the way into my fingertips today. And then playing with angles. Whether you're tipping your nose down or up, or moving your head back or forward. Just finding those spots that feel good today. If it ever gets too long, you can come out and come back into it whenever you're ready. This is a stretch you could do anytime, anywhere. Even if you're just at your desk and you want a little extra stretch, take that moment for yourself. 30 seconds can make a world of difference in how good your day is. All right, so we've done a little bit for our upper body, but we're going to do just a little bit more because a lot of our stuff has been out to the side here or down, and now we want to work up a little bit. So I'm going to do the Y from the YMCA, and I'm going to be pulsing my thumbs back. If this is not particularly accessible for you, a gentle bend in your arms might be nice. Or you might choose to do one arm at a time, just really focusing on doing left arm and then the right arm. And then as you alternate, that will be a little break for the opposite arm. So I'll demonstrate with both arms up here. And I'm pulsing my thumbs back, trying to keep my core engaged so I'm not arching through my back. I'm keeping everything stable, but pulsing the thumbs back. As I pulse my thumb back, I'm engaging through my lats, opening up the angle through the front of my shoulder here. You can see that my shoulders are away from my ears. So even though my hands are up high, I'm not up here. I'm staying down here as I pulse my thumbs back. And take a little mini rest and shake out if you would like, and then we'll come back up. We'll do an I position, pulsing thumbs back. Continuing to breathe, of course, sometimes as we get a little bit tired or as we're focusing and trying to use our muscles to get our bodies to do something, sometimes there's a tendency to go ahead and breathe much more shallowly than we would if we were comfortable. So pay attention to that inclination. And if you want to, need to, or it's helpful for you, coordinate your breath with the movement. So every time your thumbs go back, breathe in nice and deep, and then exhale and inhale. And that hack can help you get some deeper breaths, help you relax into it a little bit more. Just a couple more pulses here. Beautiful. So go ahead, shake it all out. Roll your shoulders. And what I'm going to do next for my stretch is I'm going to reach up towards the ceiling. I'm going to reach back and I'm going to hold on to my elbow. So right now I happen to be holding my right elbow with my left hand. Again, I'm keeping the shoulder down as I reach down my back with my right hand. Can't believe I got all my lefts and rights correct. Hopefully I did at least. And we're just enjoying this stretch, opening up through the triceps, through the lats, all the muscles that control the angle through the shoulder here as you're reaching up. And checking in, making sure my shoulder is dropped away from my ear. My head isn't pushing too far forward. It's staying stacked right on top of the rest of my body. And reaching up and switching sides. Now I'm holding onto my left elbow with my right hand, reaching down my back with my left hand. I'm noticing as well that my left side is a little bit tighter than my right. Many of us are asymmetrical, and I blame it on being right-handed. Breathe into the stretch just a couple more times here, seeing how taking a really deep breath changes the stretch for you. Wonderful. All right, we are going to reach all the way up, all the way out, and all the way down, relaxing through those shoulders. And now I'm going to be using that chair that I was talking about earlier, chair, desk, sitting on the hands and knees on the floor, whatever works for you. And I'm actually going to have my left hand on the left side of my head here, and I'm going to reach down as far as I can with my elbow, getting a little bit of rotation through my body, and then reach up as far as I can with my elbow. Reaching and reaching. So you'll notice that this one is an exercise as well as a stretch. I'm using my own muscles to actively pull me into the stretch just as far as feels enjoyable. Getting a little variety in the movements that I'm giving my body today. Wonderful. And then we'll switch to the other side so that you don't have to look at the back of my head. I will use my imaginary chair here. Reaching down and reaching up. Pausing at the top, seeing if I can get a little more range of motion here. And then reaching down and reaching up. One last time. Wonderful. You'll stay exactly where you are. We're going to do a little cat-cow kind of a motion here, just arching and rounding, thinking about really getting a beautiful curve through your entire spine as you round, and the same as you arch. Engaging your muscles, so it's not just your lower back that arches here, and it's not just your upper back that rounds, getting that nice smooth curve and letting your lower back round a little bit, letting your middle and upper back arch a little bit here. Awesome. Now, last thing we're going to do, hold on to something nice and stable. I'm actually going to tilt you guys down so you can see. We'll do a little quad stretch on either side to help open up through the front of the lower body. I'm going to hold on to my left foot or ankle, my left hand, being nice and stable and secure. And then just enjoying that stretch. I can play with the angles here by bringing my heel closer to the back of my body by drawing my knees together, or by drawing my left knee, the knee of the foot that I'm holding on to, back a little bit. So just playing with the stretch and finding the bits that feel good to you. I'll switch sides, and that's it for today. Still holding on to my imaginary chair here, playing with my angles, finding my tight spots, and releasing. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you had a great time, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.